Your Eminence Serkong Tsenshap Rinpoche, Venerable Sangha, everyone online with us today, a very, very big tashi dele and hello to all of you. We've already passed the halfway point of this extraordinary FPMT Global Money Retreat, and we've already had 6 Chenrezig group practice sessions so far, and 2 major teachings. We had the wonderful retreat launch with Ken Rinpoche Geshe Chonyi on 17th of May, and that was followed by the incredible Chenrezig Sadhana oral transmission and commentary by His Eminence Ling Rinpoche last month on the 5th of July. So today is really another major milestone where His Eminence Serkong Tsenshap Rinpoche will be teaching on bodhicitta. Bodhicitta being one of the 3 principles of the path, along with renunciation and wisdom, is something that we simply must cultivate in order to achieve the enlightenment that we so keenly seek. So how wonderful, how truly fortunate that His Eminence will teach us on this crucial topic. Now, to briefly introduce His Eminence Serkong Tsenshap Rinpoche, His Eminence was only 3 years old when he was recognized as the reincarnation of the previous Kyabji Tsenshap Serkong Tukse Rinpoche, who lived from 1914 to 1983. He had been one of the 7 master debate partners to His Holiness, and His Holiness had praised him as being a real Kadampa Geshe. His Eminence began his Buddhist studies at Gandhar Monastery in South India and completed his education at the Institute of Buddhist Dialectics in Dharamsala. Since 2017, he has taught extensively across the world, captivating audiences with his wisdom, humility, and humor. In 2025, His Eminence Serkong Foundation established the Serkong Institute for Buddhist Studies to fulfill His Holiness' vision of cultivating individuals with a profound understanding of the Buddha Dharma, enabling them to contribute meaningfully to the development of Buddhism in the modern world. Your Eminence, Serkong Tsenshap Rinpoche, it is our deepest honor to have you here with us. And with this, we shall commence the prayers before your teaching. Thank you so much.
Thank you. O Lama Tumpa Chum Den Den De Shin Shenpa Ra Chumpa Zope Sange Ripa Dang Sapsu Denpa Dewa Shepa Jiten Kepa Kelu Gue Galo Gyowa Lana Mepa Lada Minangi Tumpa Sange Chum Den Den Pekyawa Shakya Tupala Chang Saulo Chodo Gyapsu Chi U Lama Tumpa Chum Den Den De Chin Shenpa Rang Dapa Zope Sange Ripa Dang Sapsu Denpa Dewa Shepa Jiten Kempa Kebu Due Kalo Gyowa Lana Mepa Lada Minam Ki Tumpa Sange Chum Den Den Pegyawa Shakya Tupala Chang Sao Lo Chodo Gyapsu Chi Un Lama Tumpa Chum Den Den De Chen Chenpa Ra Chumpa Yang Rapa Zope Sange Ripa Dang Sapsu Denpa Dewa Shepa Jiten Kempa Kebu Due Kalo Gyowa Lana Mepa Lada Minam Ki Tumpa Sange Chum Den Den Pegyawa Shakya Tupala Chang Sao Lo Chodo Gyapsu Chi U Gang si ka ni su wo ge tam se sa chen de la gong ba dong bu ne nga ni ji chen di na chu chu sun de che ke pa kyo la chang sao lo nam da ku nga chu tu su sa wang ye chi ga su se gi lung bo ra da pa ji tem su na la me wa gong bu chu ni kyo la chang sao lo sen chu den pa ri ma da wa sa se do ro wa kyo la chang sao lo Dura kyura suma sima chi yame kenchen kyula chang salo gombo tuje che denpa tam che kenpa tompa po sunam yung teng ya su sin de chen she la chang salo da pe do cha ra wa gyo gyo wa gyo so le ro chin chi tu do nam chu gyo pa si gyo cho la chang salo Doa Dove Lam Yon To La Pa Da La Ra Tu Ne Zingi Dam Ba Yong Ten Ten Ge Dun La Yang Chang Sa Lo Di Di Pa Chi Yang Bi Ja Zing Gya Wa Po So 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 Pa Chi Rangi Sen Ni Yo Su Du Den Ni Sen Sangi Tiam Pa Zin Kama Mari Ma Me Dang Gyo Ma Si Pa Chi Mo Dang Mi Lam Don Ran Tri Ta Bo Du Je Cho Dam Di Ta Ta So Nam Yi Che Tam Che Yi Pa Yi Go Pa To Ne Kyung Yin Ra Gu Te Ga Dang La Dang Chi Wa Lut Ro Pe Si Pe So La Ro Wa Shu O Papa Kuncho Sum La Chang Sa Lo De Ke Da Ki Do Pa Do Che Na Chum Den Den Kya Po Ga Cha Go Pum Po Ri Lang Ge Long Gi Ge Dun Chen Po Dang Zhang Chu Sen Pe Ge Dun Chen Po Dang Tap Che Tu Su Te De Se Chum Den De Sa Mo Na Wa Si Cha We Chung Gi Dan Ra Ki Tin Ni Yin La Yong Pa Su So Yang De Se Chẳng chu sen pa chen po pa pa chen re zi wang chu shiraki pa ru to chin pa za mo cho pa ni la nam pa ta zin pu pu nga po de la yang rang jing gi tum pa nam pa ta wo de ne sang ge ki tu se dang dem pa sha ri bu chẳng chu sen pa chen po pa pa chen re zi wang chu la sti ki chi mi so ri ki bu gang la la shiraki pa ru to Chimpa zamo chopa topa dopa di te la pa cha de ke chi me pa dang chang chu sempa chempo papa chen re ze wang chu gi se dang dem pa sha ri bu la de ke chi me so re ki bu mo gang la shi ra ki pa ru to chimpa zamo chopa dopa di te ta nampa ta wa ja te pum po nga po de la yang rang jing gi tom pa nampa yang da pa je sun ta wo su tông bao tông ba ni su lê tông ba ni gen ma yun to ma tông ba ni lê su ni kya ma yun no de shen du su wa dang du je dang nam pa she pa nam tông tao sa ri bu de ta chu tam chen tông ba ni de sen de me pa ma ge pa ma ka pa ri wa me pa ri ma dang ra wa me pa ri wa me pa ga wa me pa o sa ri bu de ta we na tông ba ni la su me du je me tu me nam pa she pa me na wa me na me che me lu me yi me su me ra me ri me ro cha me chu me do mi gi mi gi ka me pa ne ye gi ma ge ye gi na pa she pa me ge ba du yang me do ma ri pa ma je pe ga chi se pe ba du yang me do du sun du nga wa dang kun cho wa dang ko pa dang la me ye she me to pa me pe ma to pe yang me dong Sa ri bu de tao ven dang chẳng cho sen pa dang to pa me pe che shi ra ki pa ru to chi pa la ten zin ne te she la ri pa me pe ta pa de ne chin lo le sin tu ne ne li len de ne pe ta chin to du sung tu nam pa zo pe sang ge tam che kyang shi ra ki pa ru to chi pa la ten ne la na pe pa yang ra pa zo pe chẳng cho tu ngô pa zo pa sang ge so de ta ve na shi ra ki pa ru to chim pe nga ri pa chen po nga la na me pa nga mi yam pa dang nga du nga tam che ra tu shi wa ji pe nga mi tun pe na dem pa she pa ja te shi ra ki pa ru to chim pe nga me pa ta ya ta ga te pa ra sam ga te bo di so ha sha re bu chang chu sem pa chen po te ta shi ra ki pa ru to chim pa za mo la pa ja te ja o de ne trong den de tin di jin de le sin de chang chu sem pa chen po Papa chen re zi wang chu la le su si cha wa chen ne le su ri ki bu de ne sin du ri ki bu de sin de je ta kyo ki ten pa de sin du she ra ki pa ru to chin pa za mo la che pa ja te de shen shen pa nam kyang ji sun yi rang gong trong den de ki che ka se na den pa sha ri bu dang chẳng chu sem pa chen po papa chen re zi wang chu dang tam che dang den pe ko Đê đăng la đăng mi đăng la ma yi đăng tri pe chen pe chi ten yi rang te trong den de ki som pa la ngo pa tu do ô ca la chu pe nu chế đam pa nang ngô sun su trung ngã về tu tập chen ru pa po la ma yin bu si sin no sum ca ro so la cha sao lo aka samaraja sadara samaraya pe aka samaraja aka samaraja sadara samaraya pe Tayata gati gati para sam gati bodhi soha Papa kunchu sumgi kayi tempe topki chi Ropa gyochi mipa gyochi shiwa gyochi ragi pachi mitumpi chunyempa tamchim simtim kuruye soha Geri tôn rang ge chu shua dang mi tu no pe ken dang ra wa dang tum pa tu pun pun so so gyo pe ta shing die kyang de le shu ô kya wa kya ta tô ji chang chiêm bồ đăng ngô wo ye ma chi pe yun zu ten pe nga dang run ru le du se ne mon te Gisun Lama Lo Sa Tu Wa Do Ji Chang Chien Po Kiap Ji Si Kong Se Sap Chun Kru Ten Zin Nga Wang Lo Sang Rim Po Chi Pa Zang Po Shi Nga Ne Tem Pa Chien Po Sun So Zarmor lekpa jue yong du jing gam bu a ge wo Om Vajraruki Ahom Wang Chen Se Ge Sa Shi Om Vajriki Ahom Chi Chari Ko Yugi Ko Ve Wu Su Ri Gya Po Ri La Sha Lu Ba Po Lo Zambu Ling Nu Ba Lang Cho Chang Ra Mi Nien Lu Dang Lu Pa Nga Ya Den Nga Ya Zen Yo Den Da Lang Cho Dro Dra Mi Yin Dang Dra Mi Yin Yen Da Rinpoche Re Wo Pa Sam Ge Shi Do Jo Ye Pa Ma Mo Pa I Lo To Ko Lo Rinpoche No Bo Rinpoche So Mo Rinpoche Lompo Rinpoche Lampo Rinpoche Tacho Rinpoche Mapo Rinpoche Te Chenpo I Bum Pa Ge Ma Trewa Ma Lu Ma Ga Ma Meto Ma Dupo Ma Nasama Richama Nima Dawa Rinpoche Du Chole Nampa Gyawe Gya Sen Usulada Miye Punjo Punso Sompa Masawa Mepa Sansi Ido Owa Dida Rinche Sawa Dangyopa Chepe Pande Lama Tampan Damda Gyapa Duyang Yonzu Tempe Ngadao Yondu Redu Senamote Jesu Lama Losa Tuwa Doje Chang Chempo Gyap Je Se Dong Sen Sab Cho Tu Ten Sing Nga Wang Lo Sang Rinpoche Pa Zang Po Je Nga Ne Tempa Chempo Zun Chu Zamro Lekpa Juwe Yondu Zing Kang Bua Gi U Tu Je Do E Don Du Jesu So Je Ne Kya Rak So Ro Wa Ma Gyo Nam Ke Ta Dang Yam Pe Sem Chen La Tu Se Wa Chempo Go Ne Jing Gi La Tu So 오 사시보기 존신 메트로트람 리라 레지니엔데 莲巴 Rokun Nam Da Ying La Cho Pa Shon O Jesu Lama Dampa Kie Nam Ki Choku Ka La Kien Se Chu Zin Drin Jita Sampe Du Je Zimala Zage Choki Chapa Atu So Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamniya Tayami.
Okay, should I start?
Yes, Rinpoche.
Okay. uh, Now I only see the. Okay, that's good. That's good. Sanje Chodong Soje Chodam Da Changchu Pardon Dani Japso Che Daye Jinso Jebe Sonon Rola Penje Sanje Robar Sho Sanje Chodong Soje Chodam Da Changchu Pardon Dani Japso Dage Jinso Gewe Sonom Je Rola Penje Sanje Robar Sho Sanje Chodong Soje Chodam La Changchu Pardo Dane Gyabzo Dage Jinso Gewe Sonom Ji Rola Penje Sanje Robar Ramjam Sunrob Gonlan Dabe Mi Gasong Tarbar Robe Jungo Sho Zebe Gyube Tabye Zabaye Sinzi Shini Kyeda Cha 오 반대 자별 라마르 뭐제 다기 닝거를 베메 덴슈라 가진 쳔베 고는 제송데 고송 투기 모르세도 Okay, so now dear friends, Dharma friends, thank you so much for including me in this beautiful the organization, especially this global money retreat. So such a great platform that you guys are using this online facility in such a great purpose through the guidance of late Lama Tsongkhapa Rinpoche, and still his influence is with us. How beautiful! And we all miss him so much. For this, to repay his kindness, so we are doing the practice. That's what he always wanted. That's what all the lamas wanted from us. So you guys are doing great, and thank you so much to giving me this opportunity to participate and to share some kind of the little knowledge I have As in English, we say sharing is caring. So what Bodhisattva's favorite thing is sharing also. So we are doing this. So we should be proud of what we are doing here. So thank you for this, Selena. Am I saying the right? Selena? Yeah, great. So our moderator here and the chanting master chant very well. I can listen to his voice all day long. And here we have so many familiar faces and then new friends here on this beautiful screen. So, and then there are the translators. So now, before starting with my topic, which is bodhicitta, which I don't have, which I'm looking for, which most of you are looking for. So somehow we are on a kind of on a right track, I guess. So let's see about that. Before sharing this, the discussion about bodhicitta, I just wanted to recall or share some one kind of great memory of late Lama Zopa Rinpoche, whom are very close, not only this life, from the past life. So Rinpoche, when we are doing a retreat in Lahul Spiti, in the Lahul part, where there is Avalokiteshvara is the sacred place. We went for a pilgrimage and we did retreat together there. That is the one of the most beautiful memory of Rinpoche. We spent there almost 1 month and a half there, very remote. And then when we are doing retreat, I learned a lot actually from Rinpoche. So Rinpoche's main practices is guru devotions for sure. So when we were doing a retreat, the Rinpoche requested me and Khandula, and then there we have a chanting master while we are doing retreat. And then Rinpoche requested me and Khandula that if he could lead the chanting before the retreat, especially the Guru Yoga. So somehow we know that if we hand over the chanting master's position to Rinpoche, it will be a very long chanting. So we've been very careful on that, but we cannot say no to Rinpoche. Then Rinpoche got this position, and then from morning around 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, only Guru Yoga. No retreat, no reciting. So he focus, he meditates and he focus. That was such a great, no rush on that. That Rinpoche clearly showed. It's like, I don't care who you are with. This has to be with. This has to be very, very, very the root of all the lamrim that I'm going to hold it. So that was such a great thing that time to time it did annoy us because we wanted to complete the retreat quite in 1 month, but there's which expand. So one great teaching is there. Secondly, when the Rinpoche listens to the some of the normally when I share some like extraordinary stories, Many scholars and great people, when they listen, they just don't take it so seriously. Just like, yeah. There are so many stories like that. But Rinpoche is never like that. Rinpoche, when he hears this, maybe already heard several times, but he will, with a huge faith, such a great faith, he will listen it. So one Katamba Lama said very clearly that Lama Tsongkhapa quoted that in Stages of Path. He said, this great Katamba Lama said, I have never heard something that I haven't heard anything before, but I'm hearing, understanding differently every time I listen to the same story or same teaching. So that is some kind of a unique memory that Rinpoche left with all of us, and I got it especially. So that time to time, when I always remember Rinpoche, I always collect these kind of great qualities. So now, as here, or I'm given a topic to share with you, teach you on bodhicitta. So the Rinpoche and all of our masters, that they practice it, and then they always tell us, practice this, or without this, how much we practice, less benefit, and then we will back to our self-cherishing mind, and then back to samsara. But you hold the big engine, which is the bodhicitta, then somehow you will get something out from there. So remembering this, so I thought of quote from the Uttara Tantra's quotation. So I will read that in English, and then maybe I will say that one in a Tibetan. Then maybe Simon can read it once. So because my English is not so good. Since the perfect Buddha's body radiates forth, since suchness, Tathagata, is inseparable, and because the potential is present, all embodied beings always possess the Buddha essence. So in Tibetan, 조상 꾸니 초치르당 디신이 메시당 리유 치는 심정근 다도 상진인 부전. So this, when I always try to meditate on a bodhicitta, I always bring this quotation. So it really helps. Even this short verse, it has the huge complete meaning of a bodhicitta. So I will explain a little bit that in Tibetan, so it will be faster and you will understand better. So that's why Simon is here for. 제장가 직제 당보디 조상 꾸니 초치당 시도 전배 당랑주 상계는 편도 거리어리스 저거 당도 전배 상계 슬랍도 전배 다 상계기 연대망보 지역에 나누네 연대는 조우디 나로다 아란주 천진 누숨기 연대스 챈바 자와 누바스 제장가 딘드기 시제기네 아니 지기 친지로긴 친지로 가리면 뭐 친지로 말 니루 터도 강인 뭐디 챈바지 디 챈바 될 때네 아니 심정기 된 남백갑려야 심정기 컴나면 벌 때네 아니 강인 챈비 최디 아니 자원 인지기 강네 아니 챈라 지 그래서 우리 니즈 투루도 덤버 제게 툭 탐제 친구들이 주도 전배 아니 자왔어. 전적은 디디 아니 남바디야 누버요 돼봐. 다 누버 시도 전배 지단에 지금 저기 주변 점에 대한 뭐 점심 많이 봐. 디 누버 시도 전배 아니 알아 저기 그래서 그래. 뒤조디 자냐고 말도 뒤지 감다 묘바다 참배 아니 최디 카투 때나 펜랍 체 유명이 된지 챙긴 게 누버치 어렸을 때 누버티 오다 된지 누버디 아니 마란주 산지기 아니 카투 유행 알졸이야 아니 된체고 sometimes 단데 인지게 마서는 24/7 예여버지 누점배 조상권을 터치를 당 이당부디
And so here, in the first line of the verse, I have a slightly different translation, which I've put in the chat. So the first line of the verse from Maitreya Sublime Continuum, chapter 1, verse 27, where it says, the first line of the verse is, since the perfect Buddha's body radiates forth. Now, this first line sort of connects with us thinking about what the benefit of us attaining the fully enlightened state would be. So thinking about what the purpose and benefit of doing that, wishing to attain that, and then working to attain that. And essentially what this boils down to is three of the primary qualities that are that the Buddhas all have. The qualities of wisdom, compassion, and then power or ability. So here, these three qualities are what constantly reaches out to all sentient beings. And they also, so then in terms of the wisdom is the quality of the Buddhas that understands what is mistaken, what is unmistaken, and what needs to be achieved, and understands all of the sort of natures of all the different phenomena. Then, in terms of compassion, well, the compassion allows the compassion of the Buddhas is to be able to teach, to guide, and to teach the disciples and students in a way which is appropriate to their sort of dispositions and their kind of potential, their dispositions and their inclinations, and obviously this compassion which wishes to give them the Dharma teachings. And then sort of sort of being able to emanate out these sort of emanations in order to provide the disciples, the students with these teachings. And then the third quality, the quality of a power, or what perhaps could be said to be ability, so that this is not just the power to just be able to sort of produce or any kind of emanations at any time or in any way, but very much the sense that these emanations would be able to be sort of at the perfect time or at the point of greatest benefit to those students. So that ability to be able to appear in a sort of perfect timing and manner for the students of the Buddha. So this way in which this line sort of talks to us about how these qualities of the Buddha, through the emanations, these qualities of the Buddha are able to radiate out sort of 24/7, working for the benefit of all sentient beings. So these are the primary qualities through which we're thinking about attaining in order to benefit others.
Okay. I muted myself, so I cannot unmute. So now in short, this first line is such a great reminder, and that if we put some effort, there's no worry that we will find and the support and the help from Buddha. 100% we will get it, because they are always drawn by or they influenced by the great compassion. So they will be always there. So we need to do something to not we just knock. We have to go there and knock on the right door of the Buddha. So this is something that if we say we go there and knock on the Buddha's door, Buddha is there 100% to help us. But then the second one, that becomes more important now. The second verse, 디신이 메치탕 세디. 제장가당 란주기 짭지세 산지 좀 된데 아니 지구지 자침부 찍고 얘기 내가데 가르치는스나 산지 좀 된디기 당 란주 투몬도제 나와라 아니 지기 계전 장면 숨라 소베 아니 지기 소남다 이시기 초 야침불라바 텔라데니 아니 타랑 오버저고 산게 버레 시제 슈징한 저게 지금 다 안돼 빼라 빼나는 빼 초도 줘봐대 산지 좀 된데 차고야 돼 가르랬으나 디신이 미치를 당 세베 찌디기 산지 좀 된디기 아니 투구스네다 다 하라는 그도 주면 sem기 땡다야 랑신기 팀의 중세제 매버 연도 전에 산지 좀 된디기 꿀레 견지 타마디 가르된 버래 안조를 가르된 버렸어요 코랑기 유기 셈기 춘이디 레야 거두연의 랑신기 팀의 슈메드 아니 산지 좀 된데디 디신이기 아니 띵네 다 디신이를 냠바 샤시면 안에 아니 셈진기 된 제벌 제벌이 있어 다띵 아란주기 다 이완토사 아란주 대박게 고사 들어봐 네 인도 전에 딘디기 산지 좀 된데를 유비 누바테 아란주라 이나양 아니 단다 직버지장 디신 산지 좀 된디기 생기 춘이당 아란주기 생기 춘이니기 아주마소는 베이스 딜이야 캬바지예요 말이스 산지 좀 된디기 춘이기 땡게 작바디 바 쭈네 다 차오르스 안주기 생기 춘이기 간다 단다 작발 하데 버리스 쭈는 다야요 직버지장 연주 전에 다 된다 니바디 디신이 매베 임비실 만주 라와 잡서드레스
And so this second line of this verse from the Sublime Continuum, where it says, since suchness is inseparable, what this refers to relates to how we think about what our refuge, the refuge of all us Buddhists, the refuge of the Buddhas, and what is it? Why do we sort of value them? What is it that we value them so greatly for? And so we can talk about how the Buddhas work for 3 countless eons, accumulating the accumulations of wisdom and merit, and eventually attaining the fully enlightened state, which these kind of tremendous qualities that we value our refuge, the Buddha, for. But probably the best example of the kind of very crucial reason why we should value the Buddhas and so highly value them is here in this line, where it talks about the words from this line, where it says, "Since suchness is inseparable." So if we think about the Buddha's mind, and if we understand that in the depths of this mind, but within the sort of this mind, there are from deep within there are no stains, or there are no stains or sort of pollutants at all, no stains within this kind of mind. But it is the suchness of this mind, the sort of ultimate nature or suchness of this mind, where there is no difference at all between the suchness of the Buddha's mind and the suchness of our own mind. So the Buddhas, in their deep meditative equipoise, are focused on the nature of reality, are still able to work for the benefit of all beings. And this is the ability when we talk about the ability from the first, the three qualities from the first line. Well, this ability or this power to be able to work for all beings whilst within the meditative equipoise, where no forms of stain or polluted or negative states of mind can arise. This is the ability that we have, and we have this potential within inside of us, because what the line is saying here is that the suchness of the mind of sentient beings and the suchness of the Buddha's mind are completely the same. They have the same nature, basic nature, but we have something. It is naturally free from stains. So the Buddha has removed those stains, but we still have something left over. But this gives us a hope, since the nature of them is the same. It is only these temporary stains or obscurations which prevent us from being the Buddha, and this is our big hope from this line.
So now the first line, it looks like it shows when we talk about bodhicitta, when we talk about bodhicitta, the definition of the bodhicitta, there are two aspects. The first one is Rangdun du Chubu. How do you translate that?
Attaining the Dharmakaya for one's own purposes or benefit.
Oh, for your own purpose, Dharmakaya.
Yeah.
Okay. So benefit for others, then Rupakaya.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yeah, the form body or the Rupakaya.
The form body, form body. So the first one shows Rupakaya, that the benefit of the Rupakaya. And then second, Dharmakaya. These two, that is the two main focuses of the bodhicitta. Tijini Michitans. Ta Ryu China Lujinku, the third verse, Ryu China Lujinku, Tado Sanji Ningbu Jens. Ta digi Sikjit Sumbatida Shiva digi Chineng Ranzu Simjingi Tunji Chagan Robayina. Ani Dindigi Negabgi Negab Simjin. Negab Simjin Slam Ndigdo. Negab Dindigi Simjin Seada. Thirdu Kosan Giri say, nobody Karigan Samatango City. Simjingi Sim Rangshinji Matuba. Simjingi Gula Ani Dinzi Rangshin Henge do Maba. Negab Rangshingi Timedus Yodeva Rangshin Timasa, Lubu Timadus Yodeva Chila, Simjin. Deepa Meba Soshana, Sanges. Dindigi Ranzulia Koadu Shichita, Zode, Gordon Ribadre. A dinger clubda.
And so here, instead of connecting these the first lines and the second lines about the Dharmakaya and the Rupakaya, and then the third and fourth lines of the verse, where it says, and because the lineage is present, or the family or the potential are present, the Gotra, and then all embodied, then in the fourth line where it says all embodied beings always possess the Buddha essence. So what's being said here is in terms of being able to work in the most effective way for the welfare of all sentient beings. And we could almost sort of say, in a way, we could talk about sentient beings as being the temporary state, the temporary sentient beings, and then ultimately becoming the Buddhas. And so what is being said here is that because the mind of the sentient beings is not inherently existent, and because these sort of pollutants or stains of the mind are not actually, they are only temporary, they're only adventitious, that they don't actually sort of impinge on the nature of beings' minds at all. So if we they're not the nature of the mind, the nature of all beings' mind is naturally free of those, but temporarily we can say when those adventitious stains are there, temporarily we call that a sentient being, and when all those temporary adventitious stains have been eliminated, then we talk of that being as being a Buddha. So they're not the true nature of a sentient being, of all beings' minds, is the lack of intrinsic existence and not being in any way intrinsically impinged on by these negative states of mind or stains.
So now, when we have a quite certainty towards there is the so-called cessation, truth of cessation. So once we have quite certainty to that, I think then there is no doubt that we can become a Buddha. If there is a little bit of doubt, there is whether cessation or not, then how much you say, I wanted to become a Buddha, I wanted to make other people to them to become a Buddha, then it is just kind of inspiring yourself a lot, but it's not going on the right track. So for this, unless we don't have a good understanding of cessation, and especially the Dharmakirti's way of presentation, where through this through the logic and reason, this is where now logic and reason becomes hugely important in a practice, where once we don't have a quiet certainty towards of the path of cessation, and then how much we say we have a hope, but deep inside we are hopeless. But from our mouth we've been saying there is a hope. So this is very important through the paramanas. But like if I give you a little bit of a presentation here, in the paramana, when there's a syllogism, that I need to say that maybe in a Tibetan, then much better. First, so tanda ngaju dina namjing na ro le ya ani rigo go ndo chambe goten ro bi rigo go bi kab le ya ani dangzin dang nyomo da nyomo gi ju dangzin te le ya ani nyechi gi nyembu tomden yores khol neba chi gi nyechi gi nyembu tomden ju yores ne ji nyembu tomden yebe jumzen de la pa ko ndo chambe ani dangzin dame to be sheromni zindang ngosu gebege lore doas de zindang ngosu gebe lo de ya dangzin dame to be sherob zindang ngosu gebe lo yindo chambe dende zindang ngosu gebe lo de kasu di shukcheron robe yina de dangzin da partner ro ya dangzin gi shuk di kasu ya chero na dame to be sherob di shuk chung yo ya chi dame to be sherob de kasu lo ge shuk ya ngazuma sonne shuk ya chira ya rana 아니 대주스 집밥에야 당시마 용로 누구요 버지 냐라 섬도 주고 되네 신에 아니 담에도 비 셔럽라 아니 고 가르쳐 버려 세마리스 셴바데 로셰리스 로셰다 세만이게 남샤데 야고지 셴베 토네 아니 골로 튠튠기 쳐들라 가도 유네양 아니 아주마 손에 가르쳐 버려 마로 머지 버치지 로 가도 유네 배 가르쳐 그래 lar midobe shojenshi deyadi ta lo tyundyn ma diyo ma rese na namjing ge go ta namjing liwni be na lo de zo de dire do ta tyonyati.
And so what I forgot to mention is that when she's saying the third and fourth lines of that are very much connected with actually the sort of proofs or the discussion about the existence of a cessation from suffering and from ceasing samsara. So there's a lot of those reasonings contained within Dharmakirti's Pramanavartika, complete commentary on pramana or valid cognition. And there he provides us with chapter 2, he provides us with a series of proofs about how to prove the existence of the truth of cessation or cessation. And here, what he argues is that the self-grasping has an extremely, the grasping at a mistaken self has a powerful counter force, a powerful antidote, which is able to reduce and destroy the self-grasping, so that not the mental afflictions, but primarily here dealing with the self-grasping in order to attain this cessation, and that that there is this powerful wisdom realizing the true nature of the self, or the selflessness, which is in direct counterpoint with the self-grasping, that it apprehends its object in a completely opposite way to the way in which self-grasping does. And so therefore we can see that since they apprehend or engage with their objects in a completely opposite way, that if we are able to increase the wisdom that understands selflessness, then the self-grasping will reduce. But of course, if the self-grasping becomes stronger, then the wisdom realizing selfness will also reduce. So they have this direct counterpoint relationship. But the difference between the two also lies in the fact that the wisdom realizing selflessness has the power to greatly reduce and eventually to irreversibly destroy the self-grasping and therefore afflictions, and achieve cessation, because it is based in it's the way it apprehends as objects is completely in accord with the way things exist. So we can call the wisdom that realizes selflessness valid. It's a valid cognition, whereas the self-grasping is a mistaken form of mind, not in accord with the way things actually exist. So this provides us, with this kind of hope that the ability to attain the cessation, because if we develop the wisdom this in accord with reality, the wisdom realizing selflessness, which is a valid cognition, it will be able to irreversibly destroy the self-grasping.
The so for that reason, when we talk about renunciation, many people have no idea when we talk about renunciation that we need to have a practice, or maybe we have to have a quite understanding of a cessation, truth of cessation. So renunciation, without having renunciation, then we say bodhicitta. It's so incomplete. Because why it becomes incomplete? Because in order to help others, first you really need to know how to help yourself. Now, what kind of help we are talking about is actually to tame our own mind. And then first you have to believe that all the source of unhappiness, it comes from our not taming our mind. So when we say the one particular suffering that comes from a karma, and then the negative emotion or affliction or whatever you say from the nyomon, and then that we need to have quite a certainty, not just saying like all our masters are saying it, so we are saying it. Not like this. We need to connect that to our own feeling. So once we have this certainty that this suffering is 100% coming from that mistaken mind, so then of course, then the renunciation is wish that I can get rid from all kind of the rebirth, all kind of the all the problem, and especially that kind of the disturbed mind. So then, whether even you are born in a heaven, even there are no kind of manifest the problems or suffering there, but then deep inside, if you have a clairvoyance, if you have some kind of understanding, you look into your mind, say, through the clairvoyance you're looking, right now, no problem. Like a billionaire, I have no problem, but I know the problem is coming. Because I have this contaminated mind. That is like a solid reason. Unless you don't have a certainty that your mind is contaminated, then you might feel like, I'm happy, I don't need to practice dharma, and forget our renunciation. But the person who is right now physically, mentally so stable and so kind of in a comfort zone, then automatically if you feel like how much I am happy, the state mind in a state of the happiness, and then physically no pain, healthy, and you just got your salary, and then your boss have praised you in front of all your colleagues, and then you feel like no need dharma, just need a party. but if you have like a contaminated mind that you really have certainty, then how much somebody praise you or how much you are in a comfort zone, you will be not that happy because you have understood what samsara really means. So then, wherever you go, wherever you stay, you will feel haunted. Right now, it's not haunting you, but it will haunt you down. So your mind will be so active, actually. You will be having a great awareness. Not just like that even you are not distracted, like even you are in a shamatha, but once you have never touched the base of the samsara or the contaminated mind. What is that? And then the yogi who is meditating, he will be very unhappy. He will say, well, I have no time to meditate now. I need to fix this problem because this is the biggest problem. Even I got a shamatha, even I have a vipassana. This is for temporary now. So this is something that person who has a quite understanding about renunciation, then he will work to fix his problem, which Buddha said, dirva tanda tsikje di inda Simon. Digbo jiyan mi jashin tanda bigi nala duwa kuranzu lo son tanji. Digbo jiyan mi jashin gewa pusun choba je rangi semni dul mi duwa, rangi semni yongsu dul sidi, yongsu sedwa. Di sanje tenpa yin sidu ma do jige rangi sem duba di sanje tenpa yin suma duwa. 용수 투여할 때 시도 전부터 신에 아주 두다시기 럼바 신에 가란주 등신 뒤에 탑시들이 어디 차상지 봐 들토베나 아니 산지기 템바던 제베다 거쳐베 인세도 디레도 딘데지 하거나 신에다 아주 renunciation 게 somebody 야고 쉬지래 레기 서리.
And so this is very much connected. What I'm saying here is very much connected to that very famous verse, which I think you also often recite, where it says, "Commit not a single non-virtue, accumulate a wealth of accumulate a wealth of virtue, completely tame one's own mind. Rangi Semni Yonsu do completely tame one's own mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. So if we're really someone who really wants to connect with and engage kind of correctly in the teachings of the Buddha, then we have to take this on board. And there's a very important point in that verse where it says Rangi Semni Yonsudu, to completely tame your own mind, not just tame your mind, temporarily or whatever, but completely tame your mind. So this is the teachings of the Buddha. And then through the different working through the different tenet systems of the Buddhist tenet system set of teachings, then these different tenet systems are increasingly subtle methods of being able to tame self-grasping and therefore to be able to tame our mind. So working in this kind of way to engage, this is the sort of correct way with to engage with the Buddha's teachings, and not just having a sense of renunciation, but connecting that sense of renunciation with this way of thinking is extremely important.
Now, when we have a quite a strong understanding about how to bring down the self-grasping, then automatically the next step will be, the biggest question is, are you going to tame your mind only, or are you going to also make a commitment to tame others, the ignorance or unrestful, or the other sentient beings self-grasping too? That will be the biggest question, because it's a similar. I always use this example. When you go to study, then our kind parents will always say, when you study, you just don't study for your own good, and look around the world, and you have to learn something that in future that you need to help others. You need to be a good leader. This in the samsara, there will be many parents who are giving this advice. So similarly, in this practice, once you have a quiet understanding of the renunciation, then automatically, when you know that I kind of now understanding the antidote, how to bring down my negative emotions, and then self-grasping, and then if you close your eyes completely, I don't care what is happening there, but right now my main concern is my own self-grasping, to tame it completely. Then it is becoming a little bit of self-cherishing. So that's why we say that even the arhats does have the self-cherishing, but no self-grasping, self-cherishing is there. But similarly here, when this is the great teaching of Lama Tsongkhapa, when we see the order of the three principal aspects of the path, so these three principles, how the order is: first, renunciation. Second, it looks like, through logic, it looks like the second should be the wisdom, because the renunciation is looking for an answer. That answer is the wisdom. But Lama Tsongkhapa will put the second as the bodhicitta, then third the wisdom. In the Lamrim, the stages of path, first when he talk about the lower scope, then middle scope. In the middle scope, he does not talk about the wisdom. He talks about more about the how to get a stronger, higher renunciation, not only just the animal realm and the hell realm, but it's like the pervasive
pervasive condition suffering. Yeah.
Pervasive condition suffering. So then on a third, in the higher scope, Then he talks about the wisdom. So it is not as Lama Tsongkhapa is in a appearance, he acts like a bodhisattva, not as a Buddha, but bodhisattva, which is his teachings. His teachings to us always are influenced by great compassion. So he will never spoil us. So that's why all of his teachings will focus on always bodhicitta, then wisdom, bodhicitta, wisdom, bodhicitta, wisdom. So this is something that we should be very, very feel fortunate to meet this kind of teaching in our life. So then always we say, in order to bring the happiness to others, what can I do? It's not just like giving some the materials or some temporary happiness to others. Biggest thing that ever we can do is to give the wisdom to others, especially how to bring down the self-grasping. So once they have this, they will be happy forever. Even they don't get the realization, but even just my teacher will always say, once you see that ignorance is just a mistaken mind, it brings so much kind of hope, and it brings so much joy. Because right now, our real enemy is outside. And we are very comfortable. We are always protecting our self-grasping. People shouldn't shout to you. Sometimes your lama or teacher can a little bit saying like, control your self-grasping. But if your enemy says like, you have a very big eye, well, then there's a problem. So we should really respect when whoever says that you have such a big eye, then you should really remember what this kind of big eye means. So once you have a little smaller eye, relative eye, that's what I call relative eye, not the ultimate truly existent eye, then all the problem starts. So then if you could deliver this to each and every sentient being, well, then I think even though we are not really explaining the definition or the full definition of the bodhicitta, but we are getting close to that. We are very close to that. So now having this kind of mind, and then you are at this moment, we cannot reach out to all the sentient beings, but then especially this money retreat, you guys are doing lots of money, and then all the recitations, the beautiful, such a powerful mantra that you are saying, but the mind that you are trying to, when we say Om Mani Padme Hum, that Padma, the real Padma, the wisdom, is really giving you this kind of influence. And then saying this money, which is the bodhicitta, which I can give this wisdom to others. Then I think no doubt that there is such a great effect or the influence to the mother sentient beings, but most important, to yourselves. We have to start our practice within ourselves. So how much we say we are benefiting others, if there's nothing going towards yourself, it's your heart is cold, not warm, and then how much you say I am helping others, that is a kind of a lie. Sometimes I call white lie. So we need to have this warm heartedness, as his Holiness always say. So this warm. So what that kind of warm right now talking about is the active visitor. So especially that I chose this the words by the Buddha, future Buddha Maitreya. This verse, the first two lines are like must memorized, and then the third and the fourth line, it will come smoothly. So this I wanted to share. And then in order to now not letting this mind go, and then the right now when we stay on the cushion, and then on a special days when we say like, well, this is my practice time, then it is not much difficult to visualizing sentient beings or the future. I time to time call the future Buddhas are out there wandering around. so then we can bring this motivation to bring this kind of a practice. But what about, because we are not spending so much time meditating and practicing. Most of the time is our post-meditation. So this post-meditation becomes much more important. So then if there is no influence from the meditation to the post-meditation, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. Even we say like, if the movie is good, then after the movie, there should be some discussions about it. But if the movie is bad, you say like waste of money, that's it. So you will not go for the second series or the second chapter. Similarly, that we really have to have this influence of the what we are doing, the retreat. And then once you, the strength of this money retreat, when you come out from your house and when you open the door, when you see the neighbor, normally you feel so annoyed, so annoying. Once you open the door, when you look at it, feel like so kind. This beautiful mind which I am building inside my retreat house, it's for that person. So it looks like you are going to hug that person, not to hold to the temporary issues that you have, because we are looking for a long run, not just for temporary problems. So we say that, but the difficulty is there. So that's why in the Abhisamaya Alankara, so then the practice of the 6 causes and one result survey.
Yes, yeah.
The pit, special, yeah. The pit instruction of that is there. So if I say briefly, so once you have a quite a little, we need to have a little certainty of the continuum of the consciousness, whether we directly believe past and future love or not, but then we have a little certainty that you feel like there is no proof, there is no conscious continuum of the consciousness. Somehow it looks like there it is. It's good enough for a beginner. It's good enough for a beginner, and especially who is really serious into practice, that's good enough. So with this position, then it is quite easy to practice the first two. We are saying the sentient being as your mother, and then as a mother, always there is kindness. The two is quite easy. But then third one becomes quite a burden, which is to repaying the kindness. Of course, your kindness, repaying the kindness doesn't mean if that person give you or like the flesh and the body and the blood and or the whatever the name and the clothes and the position, whatever, that you need to give it back. It doesn't mean like that. Of course, if you can do it, that's really good, but that's not enough. The most important is once you are going to do some help to others, then you have to sacrifice so much of your own things. So then that counts. So then you will face a huge problem, especially all the the 8 worldly concerns will come out. And that becomes the biggest blockage of the practice. Even you do your practice, that comes the 8 worldly concerns. And then also in order to help others, then it's a bigger thing. So then there is another layer of the 8 worldly concern there. So then in repaying the kindness, then you focus so much on like how to do this to repay kindness. Then I think here the biggest concern is you need to change the position. Normally you say, I cannot, that other is other, me is more important. We have that feeling automatically. That to change position 2 ways. One, just seeing the relatives kunzubuton silbata kunzubutone any cutting samji the jogi any jikasore ngalaya any jigi kanye chimpu yobakabla any chocheba rocheba jigi jimba tamata any kyameba kyapcheba da dumo jigi dungi nyongtang tene mangpo jigi kyaba de so samlo khoye de kunzubuton che 다 된다는 거 토네 셈 념당디 그 치슈는 게 치슈다 디카도디 인스레 다신 냠바세 다신 냠제세 그 삼보당서 찍디 아니 거딘 가르신 싸고래 세도 점배 나당 큐세 니기 고사디 아니 나당 큐세디 코랑 런주기 찍이 가르서고래 다직 다 등징이 샵에 파자 아니 타바도 랑진진세도 등징이 샵에 파자로 봐 응아가세 슈지기 슈침불레지 꼭 개침부터 차대마도 지기 문에 제베이나 아니 신혜스도 타예바지 아니 신혜스도 된데 거진 침부지 임바데 니 대주고 돈달래 땅마도 가리오레세 삼로도 우스들 깨주야디 가리기 지도스나 아니 다신 냠밤 아니 하바도 마시도 랑원을 주바다 신세도 랑원을 주바 도 시제 삼로당당직 레도마도 신 개치 중에서는 신 개체레샤세 삼로도 육도 반 로투야디 녀나 다신 냠 제세 단단하죠 동번이게 따와들래 된담고는 냠당들래서는 제레 하유도 준비 아니 아주 준제 명아 둥기 나로네 아니 숨바디 리카돌라 다신 냠지게 삼로도 focus diganli nguyusres
Somebody gisari garan sabadi.
oh dik doshinjeva said
Yeah. Oh, Dashinjib. Yeah. So in terms of talking about the exchange, talking about the wish to repay the kindness of others in this third aspect of the 7 points in Pith Instruction, 7-point cause and effect, and or then we sort of that sense of wishing to repay the kindness on a sort of more conventional level. So imagining all the ways that the beings have helped us, and also imagining all the sufferings, that the whole range of sufferings that the beings experience, and then wishing to help all of all of these beings with that whole range of getting free from that whole range of sufferings, and wishing to repay the kindness on that level is a level where we think about this on the conventional level. But then we have to thinking a little bit more deeply than that on an ultimate level, on a more on the deeper kind of ultimate level, and the way that we would exchange self and others So the first one would be sort of exchanging our others suffering for our happiness and like this. But at a deeper level, when we talk about the practice of the equalizing and exchange of self and others, and this method of developing bodhicitta, and then thinking about the way in which we would repay someone's kindness on the basis of how we would exchange self and others on this basis, and how we would exchange how we would repay the kindness on this ultimate level. And there we have to think about how the positions that are deeply held within inside of us in this the positions that the positions or aspects that we see ourselves and others through, the position that we place ourselves in, and seeing that it is the imprints which have been laid down by the self-grasping, particularly which ripen into a very strong sense of self-cherishing, and this tremendous sense of I, strong sense of I, where we feel a great, tremendous importance of ourselves. And then it's only through the understanding that, you know, both oneself and the other don't actually exist from their own side. And so when we have this understanding that neither of us exist, neither oneself or all others exist from our own side, then this is the on this ultimate level, the way in which it's really possible to exchange self and others, in which we can really completely cast away all of our deeply held sort of self-cherishing. And in this way, the exchange becomes so much easier. Instead, it's much more, you know, there's a very obvious sense in which others are many, we are one, and we have this sense of gratitude to all these others for their kindness. But it's really getting down to this deep ultimate level where we see others, self and others, as not existing from their own side. We see them as existing from our own side, but when we can understand that they don't exist from their own side, then this is the possibility to really make this exchange of self and others, this attitude, exchange of the attitude, which then allows us to really sort of, in a sense, to be able to repay the kindness based in this understanding.
Tene ta marshe chenso yongi chamba se de yongi chamba se kadula shine ane jigi nye ma se de chidan ama se de nye ama se de shu samdanya wala na shinche tene sonde ane jigi dashin jebi samlo de shu chimbu shu ji letsabe shu de la ta de la kare yongyor se de zambe nye semchen se de zambe be samdanya wo yongdo zambe yongi chamba se de ta ane shen dewa de no chimarong nye gi ta ma nange 타도 님베 마데다 탐지 대화던데 치모롱 님베 삼로데 레온도 점베 답해진 시바들라 아니 이용게 참바들레 오면서와.
So then, you know, so that influence on the exchange of self and others in relation to the aspect of wishing to repay the kindness, the third of the stages of the 6-point cause and effect. And here then the fourth of those causes of developing bodhicitta, seeing all beings as beloved, or seeing an affectionate love which sees them as beloved in an affectionate manner. And when we, in a common way, when we talk about my mother, this sense of my mother usually brings a very strong sense of a kind of close, intimate, kind of close feeling. So if we were able to extend that out, so that through the process of exchanging self with others, then we could have that sense of affectionate love or close feeling for all beings, so that you would think my sentient beings, which has that very close sense of closeness and affection, and then towards all of those mother sentient beings, this feeling that wouldn't it be wonderful if all these mother beings could, all my my sentient beings, my mother sentient beings, could have all happiness. Wouldn't it be wonderful if they could have that? Then with that kind of way, we develop this fourth stage, the affectionate love.
당 아바데 거도 레드 점베 닝지 칭보스라바나 신체베 먼저 닌중 거도를 슈자고야데 찍드나로 알아서 타바여데메 세데 제주 제고바 능신 아니 다 단다 닝지 칭보 단다 딘데 닝지 칭보디 딜리아 냐파르도 아니 카리 단다 라섬 디뉴기 닝지스라고요 라섬 딩 라섬기 반 덴투미기 닝지스고레 제가 닝지 칭보 잠시만 봐 닝지 칭보 딘데 닝지디 라섬 데니 닝지스 제가 라섬 세도 점베다 딘데 동에 되나 nye 차오 냠베 단다 슈디 깨주레 제가 찜으로 냠베 섬로도 여베체 딘데디 기치 니바델라다 라섬도선 데니 오니디 인도 점베 제가 라섬 데니 닝지 칭보 시제 명따기 여베 나시 데디 카도로 포커스 가르레스나 안에 셴덴도 수구슬라바나시 아니 셴 그래서 우리 말한죠 셴 동에다 전에 찌머롱 동에다 전에 찌머롱 냠벨리 신규기 냥데 닝지 딘지 친구지 깨되베 갑라 딘지 닝지 친구디 포커스 찌 가리강을 열었으나 신규기 냥데 되어 신규 인양대를 미국원도 전배 신의 신동년의 전에 지마롱 냠베 삼로의 레원도 전배 제장한 딘데 닝지 친구들 nen가 친구 차에 지가르잖아 아니 신기 아니 가서 그래 냠대암 고된들 미국도 전배 양디가 놓은 고된 여담에 신동년의 제외 차와디 여담에 우도 삼보다야디 이 그도들을 nen가 친구 지르요
And so here the fifth of the 6 points, 6 causes and one result, the instructions on that, the fifth of those is the great compassion. And just as we talked about within when discussing renunciation earlier, where it's crucial that this question about whether liberation exists or not, whether it's truly possible to attain liberation or not, comes up and is again connected here to great compassion. Now, great compassion here is not just, there could be many forms of great compassion, but this great compassion, which is mentioned here in the 6 causes and 1 effect system of developing bodhicitta, is a very particular form of great compassion, which is able to draw on the 6th cause, that of superior intent or special intent or altruistic intent. So this is a very specific form of great compassion that we're talking about. So that form of special intent or superior sort of altruism is one which feels, I will do this, I will do this, I will. So we have the wish, how wonderful it would be wonderful if all mother sentient beings could be free of their suffering. But then this great compassion must lead us to the, in the next moment, almost to the altruistic intent, where it says, I will do this. It takes the responsibility. And in the sense, when we talked earlier, so it's not just, the compassion is to wish that the sentient beings would free, but then it has this, then it leads to this wish to do it ourselves. And just as we talked about the focus of, for others, of being the form body, focusing on focusing on the welfare and purpose of others, then we focus on the attaining the form body of the Buddha. Well, here, when we're talking about that liberation from suffering, from attaining a state of nirvana free from suffering, then we're thinking not about our own liberation or our own attainment of nirvana, but others attaining that. And so them being free of suffering, them attaining that liberated state. And so therefore, we also then ask in relation to that, these questions, does the cessation of others exist? Does liberation of others exist? Can others be free from suffering and samsara? and asking ourselves that question is also very important and connected here.
Mhm. So now, once we get on the number 6,
Mhm.
so then automatically the result, it is very near. It is not far from there. So it is very important. So to go along this kind of sequence, this kind of process, and then right now, if you ask me a question, what kind of the stage where I am, I'm not even close to that kind of stage. The most important these days, my main focus is my biggest question to myself, everyday question to myself is, am I suffering? That is the biggest question to me. Unless you cannot answer that very, 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 very strongly, seriously, actually, and then all your practices go so dry. And we will repeat only, but without any meaning. Because you will always feel like I need to do, I have to do it. Not like I really need to do it. So if we force ourselves to practice, then it's not a good practice. But if we feel there's no other way than doing this now, then it is more like I need it. So this important. This is very important. So before, when I always say this, like a great master, this in stages of path, by quoted by the Lama Tsongkhapa, that one great master, Kadamba master, says there are so many great practices. These can wait, but right now the most important practice I really need is the impermanence. If I don't have this practice meditation on impermanence, all other practice is not coming. Once I have this, all the practice is coming up. So this is what this great master said. Similarly, what I'm saying, before the impermanence practice, but most important, I really need to answer myself, am I really suffering? Then you have to debate with yourself a bit, saying like, well, I have all these necessary things, all these causes and conditions are going very well, and do I really need to practice? So then it needs to have a little bit of battle to yourself, saying, well, all the things are going quite well for how long? And then it is like one of the teachers, this his example of why we really need to practice Dharma. He's always this example comes into my mind, saying you are staying in one hotel, which has like 10 stores, and then stores to be this one stories, okay,
Yeah.
stories. Then if you are staying on the top, on the top, road top, and then if the fire is coming, so you feel like it's not so much important to run now. You might stay comfortably, partying and whatever, enjoying that you're really enjoying. But then once the fire has started to caught up on the ground level, then more fear is there. But it's too late, because the Dharma is not to practice when it's too late. Dharma is like an antidote. We need to find the antidote, and then we can really face the problem. Most of people, we do like we do puja. We do puja when there's already manifest problem. We do puja. So then sometimes it's too late already. So Dharma is not like that, actually. So you need to answer how much I'm in the the comfort, or I'm enjoying the samsara. But this is samsara. One day, there will be a lot of questions that you need to answer, which you cannot answer within in a second or within in a minute. So we need this kind of practice that. This example of the 10th store building of my teacher becomes a quite important reminder for me. So hopefully that some here so many bodhisattvas and great practitioners here, but if there is someone like me, then I think it is very important to build a foundation, which is the biggest question to yourself. Are you happy in samsara? That's the biggest question. So I'm trying to do that. So my time is out. Time is out now. So so I will end up my this today's discussion with you all, and I had such a great time sharing the experiences of the great masters, and then my teachers, and the blessing, or whatever. I just said something positive, something. It is not coming through my own practice. It is something that I'm like a parrot, repeating after my teacher. But even parrot can learn. So I'm that kind of parrot who learned a little bit to repeat. I feel great. I feel great to have that. If this kind of practice really comes from inside, how great that will be. So thank you so much for listening to me, and thank you for all the organizer to organize this beautiful event. May, as Lama Soba Rinpoche has a strong wish that this kind of a platform, this kind of practice, that everybody do, not only just for a 1 day or 2 days, but then every day. So Rinpoche has this wish. So we followed his guidance, and then enjoy bodhicitta each and every day. So thank you so much, and I dedicate this virtue that we have accumulated together, that may our teachers, that the teacher's teacher, live very, very long life, and may we continuously can receive teachings, and then until the samsara ends, until we get a bodhicitta, until we get a fully enlightened, we never get get separated from these great masters, and may we find now we will find soon Dhamma Sabra, which is reincarnation, but we may see his face as soon as, and then also be dedicated that this virtue that which is reincarnation can continuously benefit as he has benefited once. So may he continuously benefit all of us. So thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
O Gyawa Gyabdak Doji Chang Chen Po Dang Ngo Ye Ma Ji Be Yun Su Tenpa Na Dang Don Gi Le Du Se Ne Mo Te Jisu Lama Lo Sang Tua Do Je Chang Chiempo Kyab Jisi Kon Sen Sa Cho Tru Tenzin Na Wa Lop Sang Rinpoche Pa Zang Po Shing A Ne Tem Pa Chempo sun so zarmer lek pao tope Kadrin tarangi yondu jinka buage wo Om Vajarik Aho Wang Chen Xie Ge Sa Shi Om Vajariki Ahom Chi Chariko Yugi Kowe Usuri Gyapore La Shalubapo Lo Zambuleng No Balangcho Chang Raming Yen Ludang Lupa Ngaya Da Ngaya Zen Yun Den Da Lang Chodro Ramin Dang Ramin Yen Da Rinpoche Rewo Pa Sam Geshe Dojo E Pa Mamo Pai Loto Kolo Rinpoche Nobo Rinpoche Somo Rinpoche Lompo Rinpoche Lampo Rinpoche Tacho Rinpoche Mapo Rinpoche Techimpo I Bompa Ke Ma Trewa Ma Lu Ma Ga Ma Meto Ma Dupo Ma Nang Sel Ma Richa Ma Ni Ma Da Wa Rinpoche Du Chole Nampa Gyawe Gya Sen Usulada Miye Punjo Punso Sompa Masawa Mepa Sangsi Idong Owa Didang Rinchen Sawa Dang Gyopa Chepe Panden Lama Tampam Depa Kepa Duyang Yongzu Tempe Ngadang Dondu Lendu Sena Mote Jesu Lama Lo Sang Tuwa Doje Chang Chempo Kyapje Tập chỉ sẽ công sinh sắp cho tru tên dinh tu tên nào vang lô sang rinpoche ba giang po che nga ne tên pa chen po sun so zarmo lek pa tu pe ka rin tarangi yon du jing gam bu wa gi wo tu je du e don du je su so je ne kya rak su ro wa ma gyo nam ke ta dang yan pe sem che la tu se wa chen po go ne jing gi la tu so O Sashi Poki Jonshin Merotram Rira Lejinin De Gempadi Sangeshin Du Mite Uai Drokun Nam Daji La Chopa Shon O Jesolame Kunse Ratenzin Namka Trile Cho Gie Padang Lo Sa Te Ben Ro Me Sa Sun Gi Ro mandala kamneya dayame. Ojang chu sem cho rinpoche, ma ke pa nam ke gyu che, ke wa yam pa me pa yang, go ne gon du pe wa sho. Kari ra we tu we jing kam de, ben dang de wa ma lu cho we ne, chen re sing wan tan sing ya so yi, sha pe shi te ba du teng yu che. To ne jin je zu zu je pe lam, sa na je je gang dan kru dong wo, cha na pe mo tan sing ya so la, so a dep so len ru shou.
Maybe we don't need that one. We don't need this one.
Don't need this one.
Yeah, we don't need this one. We can skip that.
Okay, okay. Long life for Java, long life for
Okay.
Dame Tompa sa ding ran so lo sang gawa ga se ge chi ram jang jing yin yu yu ma lu pa den de mo pa du pe ge le yu zu zo pe tuk ten rim po chi sa dang do pa ten jing pe wa la nam yo mi tun so pa chu cha chi so me ji su la ma so wa de. Ayo, text speech. Bên đường đeo quá, mà lũ chưa về nghỉ chỉ bộ kéo về tên đáng và lũ gô hòa đồn là chờ tú sổ bao giờ bao kiểu lô sang gì quá, sẽ chỉ yi phong, ô đằng chủ sống kéo số chim bà đó, kéo xe nam ký tung chế làm bộ chế, lũ mẹ đèn bá yang lũ sa bê dùng, càng sang chọn bé, bên đủ yêu ra số. Due to the past, present merits collected by me and all the merits, all the 3 times collected by numberless Buddha and numberless sentient beings who are empty from the existing from one side, may I, who is empty from the existing from one side, achieve the state of full enlightenment which is empty from existing from one side, and lead all sentient beings who are completely empty from existing from one side to that state which is completely empty from existing from one side by myself alone, who is completely empty from existing from my own side. O mi me se we te chen chen re zi re me gen pe wang po chang pe yang gang chen ge pe so gen song ga pa lo sang ra pe sha la so wa de mi me se we te chen chen re zi re me ken pe wang po jang pe yang gang chen ke pe so gen song ka pa lo sang ra pe sha la so wa de mi me se we te chen chen re zi re me ken pe wang pon jam pe yang gang chen ke pe so gen song ka pa lo sang ra pe sha la so wa de.
Thank you so much, Your Eminence, for that incredible teaching. No doubt, perhaps I can only speak for myself. I have not even come close to cultivating bodhicitta, Your Eminence, but with you, with all our gurus by our side, we know that one day we will. And thank you so much for your guidance. We wish you such a long life. Please stay with us for a long, long time. for all future lifetimes until we all achieve the enlightened state. Thank you so much, Your Eminence, for that incredible teaching on bodhicitta. We will always do our best to repay you with our practice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's such an honor to have you with us for this FPMT Global Money Retreat. I would like to conclude with just some slides. I will not take too long with them, but because, Your Eminence, we are only about a little more than halfway through. Yes, long life to you. So just to let everyone know that the next session is actually next week. Venerable Amy Miller will be leading our Chenrezig group practice session. So that is on Saturday, 15th of August. Note the time, 2 to 3:30 p.m. UTC. And so if we can just slowly, or rather not so slowly, go through the rest of the slides. Yes, so that's Venerable Amy. Everyone, please join us. The session will be in English. There are no translations usually for the group practice sessions, but there are other parallel sessions happening in Italian and Spanish, as you can see in the following slides. Spanish sessions, wonderful parallel series happening for the Global Money Retreat, similarly for the Italian sessions as well. And I believe in other places too, if you can just check with your own centers, you can join that. Or of course, failing that, you can always join us online. In fact, whether you have sessions or not, please do join us online. And just to continue on, the next slide is, these are the links, as you would have seen before the teaching. The next slide is an important reminder that after all, being a money retreat, if you can all please keep track of your money recitations. And the Google form is already available for you if you wish to, report your mantras on a monthly basis or on a regular basis. But if you don't, then just keep track and report it once at the end of the retreat. Our retreat finishes on the 1st of November, which is the final Buddha Day for 2026. And then just the subsequent slides to come, just reminding everyone that there are these always available for you to donate anytime you wish to the Lama Yeshe Sangha Fund, and as well as all the other funds that Lama Zopa Rinpoche has so wonderfully supported, continuing on to do good work for sentient beings. So just keep a note of those. And yes, may Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation be swiftly found. And thank you, everyone. We conclude with the slide of Mighty Chenrezig. And may we all similarly attain the state of compassionate Buddha as soon as possible. So if we can stop screen share and meet each other before we stop this Zoom room. Thank you, Rinpoche. We hope to see you again
Thank you.
online.
Thank you very much. Okay.
And thank you to all the translators. It was fantastic. Thank you, translators. Thank you, Zoom team.
Thank you, translators. Thank you.
Bye-bye.